G'day, and thanks for dropping in today. We might recall how the authorities at the time had decided to kill Jesus in the hope that by eliminating him, this one troublemaker, the whole movement of his followers would collapse, in the same way as time turns flames to embers. However, of course, quite the opposite happened, and to this day, the impact of that one man is still radically changing the course both of the world and of individual lives of people all throughout the world. Today I'd like to reflect on the fact that Christ, present in our relationships, makes him present in the world. We've already alluded to this a few weeks ago when we discussed the church as a sacrament in the world. But this time, following the celebration of the Ascension, this might have a new meaning for us. As Christ's physical presence left the early church, they very soon realised that their way of life was witness to the ongoing life of the risen Lord. In the readings today we have two examples of this. First, we see Paul, who's living out his life and journeying with the community in Ephesus. This is a time when he lived, taught and prayed with the people, an example, so that they could live lives attuned to the spirit of truth, by not living for themselves and remembering the words of Jesus who taught them the joy of self-sacrificial love. The second example we see is the example of Jesus himself as he prayed to his Father in heaven. This is a time when he speaks of his relationship with those around him on earth as a fulfillment of his true essence and relationship with God. In both of these examples, the truth of relationship with God and the living out of communion with others were not simply things compared to one another, but expressions of the same reality. For us, the time following the Ascension of the Lord might be a time to reflect on this. With the examples we've just cited, we might consider two things. Firstly, is our relationship with God expressed in our way of life? Or perhaps either the relationship or its expression might need some refining. That's a fairly simple Christian question because that makes up much of what the Christian life is about. And secondly, we might reflect if our actions and the relationships really express our relationship with God. Really examining ourselves to see that it's not just our own selfish motivations or desire to feel good that are driving these. Both of these are personal reflections following the Ascension and leading up to Pentecost. But we can take heart in the knowledge of Christ's words that he would be with us always in this mission as a church and as a Christian person.